I think it'd be fair to say our next guest will have seen some interesting wildlife over the years. It's Sir Michael Palin, who has been gracing British TV screens for decades, taking us on travels all around the world.
He has been back on the road again for his 100th trip, this time taking viewers to Venezuela, one of South America's most vibrant but troubled nations.
No, you don't have to stop talking, Michael Palin, ever. No, never stop talking. What were you saying about rats?
Well, one of my favourite pubs in the country is called The Rat. It's up in Northumberland. It's the most beautiful pub, lovely food, a marvellous view out over the river and all that.
Well,
Whenever I go up there, so we've got to go to The Rat.
Yeah,
there we go.
That's a nice rat connotation.
That's a nice rat, yes. Rat as a pub, but without a tail, that's fine.
Yeah. Michael Palin in Venezuela is the book. We've seen some of the TV series there as well. I said before, I bet you've had encounters with interesting wildlife. There's a picture of you in this book with an anaconda, which is gigantic.
Yeah, yeah. It was about 14 foot long, and the man who showed it to us had it in his backpack. He said, I'm going to show you an anaconda. And apparently it had been found on the road outside its natural environment. He put it in his backpack to take it, and we let it off into the swampy area where it likes to go. But it took 4 of us to hold this anaconda. And they're like pythons, you know, very like John Cleese. But, I mean, they do squeeze very hard.
Did it start to...
Yes, it started...
entwine?
Started singing Always Look on the Bright Side. That's when I was worried. But the muscles in it, very strong. Yeah.
We're, of course, talking about Venezuela. I mean, the images around here, it's such a beautiful country. But
Stunning.
as you were just saying, so few people go there because it's so troubled. What was your takeaway from the country?
Well, my takeaway was that it's a wonderful place that people are prevented from seeing by politics, really. Basically because the government changed at the beginning of the century to a socialist government rather than a capitalist. The Americans cut off their aid, the oil wasn't used, the place is run down, millions of people left in the last 10 years from Venezuela rather than stay there. And so they were emptied, leaving this absolutely stunningly wonderful country to a very few people. It's very hard to get there, very few flights from Europe, very few. And
foreigners, treated with suspicion? I mean, you had your own difficulties on that front.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what went on in the background, but I know that it was difficult and negotiations had to go on, and there were certain people we could talk to, certain people we couldn't talk to. People would talk to me openly, but on camera would refuse to talk. And one day we were detained by men, armed men, I mean, with rifles. Went through all our bags, photographed everything, and it, you know, for a day we were sort of suspected as, I don't know, overthrowing the Venezuelan government. So it's very twitchy there, and in fact, Maduro, who's a president, he claimed to have won the last election, and almost everybody says he didn't, and it was fixed. So there's a kind of feeling that this wonderful country is on the edge of change of some kind. Trump's having a go at it now as well.
Michael, when you're in some of these tricky situations, like the one you just described, and other circumstances of meeting people, how often is it the case that your history, in terms of what you did in the past with Monty Python, whether becomes relevant or interesting or helpful, even?
Helpful. Well, I mean, not that often, because I go to places where they don't know me very well and they don't know what I've done.
Which is probably quite nice.
It's much easier, because I'm there to observe them rather than them to observe me. But in this particular case, at the end of the day when we were detained and these armed guys were waiting, we were all sort of sitting having some food together. We were still sort of under suspicion. And one of them got hold of my name on Google, and they found the fish slapping dance from Monty Python. And you saw them all with their full armour kind of shaking away as they watched this. And I knew after that we were safe, because I was considered as an absurd figure, not someone to be taken seriously. Someone who was knocked into a canal by a large fish wasn't to be taken seriously.
It's so surreal. It must be very surreal in those circumstances.
Yeah, life is surreal, especially if you've done Monty Python at some time, you know. We started early with the surrealism.
This was your 100th trip and 100th documenting it, but you weren't aware that it was your 100th trip before you set out on it. But, I mean, that's quite a milestone. You've been pretty much everywhere.
Well, yeah, except my cameramen have been 140, 150, you know. There are a lot of countries particularly in the Pacific Islands and all that, where there are lots of republics. But I've been to most of the main countries and the main continents. But it was a surprise to be at number 100, yeah.
Do you know, when I think of Venezuela, and you address this in the book, actually, where it has a kind of exotic... It just kind of sounds exotic, doesn't it? It's a bit mysterious and all those things. This is going to sound really silly, but do you know the film Gregory's Girl?
Yes.
It's a lovely film. Right at the end, there's a scene of the two gormless young men, and they've got a sign up in Glasgow where they're hitchhiking to Caracas.
Oh, gosh, wow.
Because they have heard that in Caracas there are 3 women to every man.
Oh, right, yeah.
Which is their sole reason for wanting to go there.
Yeah.
It's stuck in my head as one of those daft moments.
Yeah.
But people just basically don't know anything about the place, do they?
You see, it used to be on the world map. I mean, Concorde used to fly to Caracas from France. People knew it was rich. They have these beauty contests. They still have there. So I mean, they have very, very beautiful ladies there, and they sort of treasure all that aspect of their civilization.
Don't they hold the record for the most number of Miss Worlds or Miss Universes of any country in the world?
More Miss Worlds than anywhere else. Yeah. And I met one of them. Well, she wasn't. She was a runner-up to being Miss Venezuela, and she was a lovely lady, really nice. And she said the only problem was when I was leaving the stage, having been given this award for number 2, I tripped and fell over, and she fell down the steps. And anywhere else, you think, what a terrible humiliation. And she kept showing me this. She said, look at it, here we are, I'll show you again. And this was a great moment. She said it did more for her, that fall, than actually winning the thing in the first place.
One of the joys about what you write and what you do in your films is you're curious about people, aren't you? You're curious about people and places.
That's why I love going abroad.
Do you worry about people? You know, we talk a lot about social media, about, you know, because people can see anything, anytime, can't they? They can go online, look at pictures of film of Venezuela. Yeah. The thing that you do, your kind of style of what you do and going, seeing things for yourself and then showing other people. Do you worry about that? That it's, you know, people aren't going to be interested, that they can just do it for themselves?
No, I think that's... I mean, it's the ways and ways of doing it, and I think the way we work is to look at the country and let the people themselves talk. So it's not me just rushing through the country saying you can see this, that and the other. You've got to actually, the way we do it is to go under the surface a bit, and I don't think that sometimes people don't have time for all that. We live in a sort of headline time, you know, when things are good, bad, or whatever. But in the Venezuela program, we try to do the uncertainties. What do people really think? You know, how do they really live? How do they continue to live in a country which has a disastrous economic and political record? And that's fascinating.
Can we move for a second to the UK?
Yes.
I'm going to try, hopefully, we're going to be going to Jane in a minute in County Durham because we're talking about the fact that tomorrow marks 200 years since the opening of the world's first modern railway. And, of course, your journey now as a travel writer really started, didn't it, back in 1980 with the great railway journeys of the world. And you are a self-confessed train spotter, is that fair to say?
I was, yes, absolutely. I was a train spotter in Sheffield. And then I was asked in 1981, I think it was, would I be one of the presenters on a new BBC series called Great Railway Journeys of the World? And I said, where are they going? Oh, they're going across from, you know, New York to Seattle, down the Zambezi and you know, all that. And I said, yeah, absolutely, I'm on. And they said, the only, yes, there we are. The only one that's not been taken is London to Crewe. So I said, all right. And actually, in the end, we went right through the system, right up to Scotland. And for someone who loves railways, it was pretty good. Got to ride on the footplate of, you know, Flying Scotsman and all that.
Amazing. Now, you will see, if we go back to our live shot, we go back to this... sorry, I don't think we can do that. The shot we were seeing, Michael, there was they're recreating this journey that happened 200 years ago.
OK, yes.
I think it's going to happen later on
Stockton and Darlington, yeah.
You know, you see...
Yeah. Oh, I know all my railway history,
It's been lovely seeing you this morning. Thank you very much.
Lovely. Thank you very, very much.
Venezuela, the film on Channel 5, and, of course, the book Michael Palin in Venezuela. Thank you.
Thanks. Great.
Yeah.